A journalist should cover the news without fear for violence.
منتصف ليلة أمس هذا بالإضافة.
Journalists are threatened while reporting on local politics.
Beach gun right here. Anyway, this is my press card. It allows me to.
Where is your passport?
It allows me to work
your passport?
in Turkey.
Where is your passport? Where is your passport?
I'm being kicked. Harold, we're being detained right now.
Assaulted.
What are you doing? She's a journalist! She's a journalist!
I don't care, man.
She's a journalist! I got everything on tape, man.
While reporting on corruption and crime.
Journalists have been, they don't want any journalists to cover.
Targeted while covering a war. Kidnapped while bringing the story.
After being held captive in war-torn Syria for 6 months, 2 Spanish journalists have finally returned home.
Killed. Or brutally murdered while doing their job. And the perpetrators get away with it.
Ni un solo caso ha sido esclarecido, ni uno. Y eso ya basta de que siga pasando, de que lo sigamos permitiendo.
Only 5% of the crimes against journalists are prosecuted.
5 men have been convicted of the 2006 murder of Russian journalist Anna Politkovskaya.
Only 5%. This impunity has to stop. Stand up for journalists and justice.
What would we be without truth? And what would we be without the people who tell us the truth? People who, despite all the risks, go to conflict areas like Libya, Yemen, Syria, to show us what is actually happening on the ground. People who dare risk their jobs and even their freedom to reveal corruption or fraud. Without these brave journalists, we would be clueless. When truth is twisted, journalists can tell us what is really going on, so that we can take proper action. That's why we owe people who tell us the truth our fullest support. No strings attached. And in search for truth and justice, we should show more solidarity, because we're in it together. Let's join forces so that we can really make a difference and ensure that justice prevails. My name is Ruth Kronenberg, and I stand up for journalists and justice. And I hope after today, you will too. Thank you.
It was 70 years ago that I got a phone call from my friend, Sander, a journalist in Jakarta, where I worked. He had to cancel the dinner we were having together because he wanted to go to Timor, East Timor, to report on the news of the turmoil that broke out after the referendum on independence. Instead, Sander became the news himself. It was only years later when I worked at the ministry for the minister and preparing a file for an Asian trip of his, that I was confronted with the pictures of Sander and what he had done to him. It was a clear signal to other journalists that they shouldn't mingle into others' affairs and they shouldn't report the truth. This all was brought back to me last month by the news of the killing of Jeroen Ouwelemans in Libya. These are human tragedies, but it is more, because journalists, their work, is essential for a well-informed society, which is the backbone of a well-functioning democracy. It's about voice and accountability. However, the last decade, 827 journalists got killed and only 1 out of 10 cases got solved. The Netherlands is working together with its partner FPU on fighting this impunity. We do it within the UN, in Geneva, in New York, and in UNESCO in Paris. What we say is prevent harassment and intimidation of journalists, protect journalists, and prosecute the perpetrators. My name is Kees van Baar, and I'm the Netherlands Human Rights Ambassador, and I stand up for journalists and justice.
Welcome to you all to this beautiful city of The Hague, the international city of peace and justice. It's an honor for me to welcome you all on behalf of the administration of this city, the city which is indeed the seat of the Peace Palace, the city which is the seat of our government, the city which is the seat actually of our head of state, but the city which also is the seat of 160 international organizations, many of them working for peace, like we have the OPCW, the International Court of Arbitration. We have, of course, had many tribunals. But The Hague, ladies and gentlemen, is also a very vibrant city on the seas, on the shores of the North Sea. It's a multicultural city, but it has always been a city without any borders. Not in the 16th century, not in the 17th century, and in the centuries thereafter. It has always been open for people who were fleeing from their homes. It has always been a city without any boundaries. We welcome, because in The Hague, we want to be a safe haven of, in this case, the free word. And as far as the free word is concerned, ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, journalists play a very important role in this. Journalists are the conscience of our society. And if I'm talking about the conscience of our society, then we need indeed to protect that conscience of our society. And in that case, there is absolutely not a place for impunity. Not here in the West, and not anywhere in the world. We have to fight against that, because it is admirable that people are traveling in war zones to do only one thing, to inform us what is going on there. And I think it is very admirable that these people are there, and indeed we need to protect them. Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, I wish you a fantastic seminar, a good conference here today. Great that you are here. And on my behalf, this conference, but also the aims of this conference, has absolutely our full support today, but also in the years to come. My name is Rabin Baldeusing. I'm deputy mayor of this beautiful city, the international city of peace and justice. And indeed, I, not only today, but also in the years to come, stand for journalists and for justice. Thank you very much indeed.